This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one another podcast. Interviewing musicians, comedians, sports personalities, and many, many other individuals all over the world, sharing their story of encouragement, inspiration, what they've been through, what they've gone through, as well as amazing musicians from all over the world. Kick back and relax. For some amazing people you probably have never heard of and their story. Each of us have a story of hope, of courageousness, of inspiration. This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one-on-one podcast. It's always about encouraging others.
This is Weatherman by Austin Hopkins.
there, and welcome to Chit and Chat, the encouraging one-on podcast. I'm your host, Josie Sheffield. I'm so glad you're back for another episode of the podcast. If it's your first time, welcome. So glad you're part of this amazing journey and meeting people from around the world, getting their story of where they're from, and kind of hearing their music. Today we have 3 great songs, as well as a fun interview. The songs we have on today are by Austin Hopkins. His song called Weatherman. You can find his music at austinhopkinsmusic.com. He was the opening song of this podcast. At the end, you'll hear a song by Jennifer Malott called Showdown. Her website is jennifermalott with 2T's.com. And I'm playing a song today by my guest. I won't tell you the guest's name just yet, but his song is called Texas and Tennessee. So you might know him, you might not. But to introduce my guest today, first of all, he loves music. I mean, from a little toddler, his babysitter would let him listen to the Beatles when he was based on good behavior. His mom was an organist and a director of music, taught him music, got him in a church choir, school bands. He played in rock bands. He loves music, and he has performed a good number of songs, as well as written a bunch too. He's been nominated for a bunch of awards. Him and his band, The Farm Machine, took Band of the Year a few months ago at the ISSA award show. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Andrew Dean.
Hello.
Hello there.
How do we sound now?
Sound fantastic.
Oh, good. We changed computers. I got my computer out.
It was a modern miracle.
So, yeah. 2 phones, 2 computers. We got something that worked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Chit and Chat. I'm excited to talk with you today.
Oh, I'm excited, Jody. I'm excited.
Before we dive into fun conversations, I love picking the brains of my guests a little bit. Throw out some icebreaker questions. You got your thinking cap on?
Sure.
Number 1, if you had the opportunity to do a duet with any musician for like a one-night concert, what 2 individuals and yourself are you picking to be on stage with, and why?
Well, I think one of them for sure is going to be Georgette, because Georgette Jones, she's the daughter of Tammy Wynette and George Jones. I did have the opportunity, 2 weeks ago, to share a stage with her.
Oh, and,
wow. She sounds just like her mama. I'm telling you. Just, I mean, absolutely wonderful. And so, yeah, I would definitely want to do a duet with her. Another one. Now, this is kind of old school when you talk country music, I guess, but I like Patty Loveless, and I always have. And if Vince Gill could tag along, that'd be cool too.
That'd be a good fun concert to go see.
Oh yeah. Well, I saw Patty and Vince together.
Wow.
And boy, her voice. I mean, just and of course Vince's. I'm kind of in envy of that anyway too, because he's got a wonderful tenor voice. It's just amazing.
I was born and raised in Arkansas, and I'm 50 plus years old now. I love old. I call it classic country. George Jones, Conway Twitty. That's my jam. Classic country music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do too. I like it all though. I mean, I like a lot of. There's some new stuff that's out that's nice. I'm not really what you call a bro guy. But I do like some of the new country stuff that's out, and there's always a new twist on the music and a new twist, a way of presenting the music, and that always intrigues me.
Number 2, what's the most memorable meal your mama or grandma made that still brings back some good old memories?
Well, when it comes to my grandma used to bake bread, and she'd do bread and then she'd do applesauce. And as a little kid, she'd put a nice chunk of butter on that warm bread and hot applesauce. And I'm going to tell you, this little boy was in heaven. My mom, she made a lasagna that was just, it took all day to make. But oh man,
My grandma made a lot of biscuits and gravy. Woo! I love me some biscuits and gravy.
that's good stuff. That's good country cooking right there. Now, yeah.
Number 3, if you had your very own talk show, who would be your first 3 guests? Are you staying with Patty Loveless and Vince Gill, or are you going to couple of others?
Oh yeah. I mean, I can think of a ton of people. When I think of that, I'm interested in so many different kinds of music and the people. I'd want to talk to somebody like Paul McCartney. Now, Paul McCartney has had a career over the years, and just an amazing talent from his early days with the Beatles to his solo careers and stuff. And I would like to really pick his head about, what inspired him on different things and how he came about doing things. It's kind of like the old story of the song, and it just popped out of my head. I'm singing it yesterday. The song Yesterday. When he first wrote it, he didn't have words, so he sang it scrambled eggs. Yeah, scrambled eggs. So it's like, yeah, but it's just really, things like that are so cool to know that you don't necessarily have to have like the words or the exact melody or the exact sounds you want the very first time you do this. It's a process, and
of course,
yeah. So I'd like to just really talk to him about that. I could really probably learn an awful lot. So I would say he would definitely be a pick of mine. I also love Reba McEntire, and I would love to talk to her. I did have a chance in my 20s to talk to her. I worked on the turnpike, and the bus had some difficulties, and so I did talk to her then. But I wasn't. Now this is going to be hard to take, okay? But I wasn't a country fan back in my 20s.
That's what I heard.
I like that rock and roll stuff. So yeah, I actually asked the bus driver. I said, "Who is Reba McEntire?" And he whipped around. He about fell right over. He whipped around, looked at me. He says, "She's only been the #1 female singer in country music." And I remember looking right back at him, and I said, "Well, there you go." And I mean, I look at that now and think, boy, I just could smack myself silly. So
that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4, if you could travel to any country in the world you had not performed at, what was your dream place to go have a concert at?
Oh boy. Well, I would say in thinking of that, I would love to go to like Europe and mainly like Germany and some of those places. I love the architecture and stuff like that. The creativity, my mind, it just works that way. So I would like that. And of course, I don't know though. Australia would be great too. Yeah, New Zealand, Australia. I have friends there, and I would just love to perform there, maybe at Tamworth or something like that. That's a big independent festival there.
I probably should ask your wife, where does she want to go?
Well, that's really how it. If Mama ain't happy, so it's kind of that way. She is my better half. I'll tell you what, I would be in the wrong place at the wrong time if it wasn't for that woman. She keeps me on track.
You'd be in Detroit.
And it's a full-time job, by the way.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
How long have you been married?
26 years.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
My wife and I hit 30 this year, and I'm still alive. So
I always say this poor girl deserves a medal for putting up with me. I didn't think it'd be 26 minutes, let alone 26 years.
Yeah. Well, deserves a few gold medals as well. Last question. If you were a singer-songwriter, what other profession would you be in, do you think?
Well, if I wasn't a singer-songwriter, I wouldn't be a plumber. I'm really trying to think on that one. What would I be? Boy, and music has been so much a part of my life. But I will tell you this is something I did long ago, and this is not something that's really known by very many people. but I used to stand in front of people going 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 40, 50.
Oh,
Oh yeah. I used to be that auctioneer. So, I'd probably do something like that. I always like being around people and that kind of stuff. So it'd have to be something like that.
for listeners out there who might not know who you are, would you mind giving a little brief bio on who Andrew Dean is?
Well, I grew up in a farm community. Helped local farmers when I was growing up. From anything from picking crops to picking up rocks to, and then mowing yard. As a kid, I worked a lot. I liked to work. I liked to get dirty and just get in there and get busy. I worked at my uncle's gas station. Then I kind of graduated got out of high school to that blue collar dollar. Did the factory life for a little while. Really didn't care for that, but it's an honest living, I can tell you. But yeah, did that, and then just wound up getting into music and traveling with music, and boy, that is my happy spot. Yeah.
Do you recall your first experience with music?
Oh yeah, but it goes way back. I used to have a yardstick band. Now, I know what that sounds pretty crazy, but I'll explain it a little bit. My mom and my dad and mom both had a very diverse what they listened to, like Bach, Beethoven, Liszt, stuff like that, but also the Beatles, Louis Armstrong, a lot of different influences. And boy, I found that I loved all of it. I just really loved all of it. So my friend Jimmy and I, we'd stand in front of the stereo with the yardsticks in our hand and act like we're playing guitars to Beatles songs. And we just had a gay old time. And I guess the real moral of the story was, as long as I had the yardstick in my hand, my mom wasn't using it. So, and I don't mean to measure things, except a little good behavior, maybe.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit about your bio, and you said you basically allowed you to listen to the Beatles, but strictly based on good behavior.
Yeah, that was it. That was right. I had a babysitter that actually would come over, and she'd bring over Beatles records, and she'd say, "If you're good, I'll play a song, but then you got to go to bed." So she'd play Beatles. She'd bribe me with that. So yeah, I mean, and it worked with me. It worked. So
your mom Linda was an organist and a director of music, and she kind of took you under her wing, and you joined church choirs and school bands. What was that like?
Well, it was. She was quite an influence in my life. I can tell you, at a very early age, she told me, she says, "I've got one word of advice for you." And I said, "Well, what's that?" And she says, "Listen, if you're going to make a mistake, it might as well be a loud mistake." So, she was exuding some confidence into me, and I wound up doing a lot of solos and things. I had at least 4.5 octaves to work with in my voice then, and it was like, so I did just about anything, and I'd sing all the day. I didn't care.
She really encouraged you, inspired you to kind of kickstart your career in music from day one, right?
Oh yeah. And she was right there when I started doing the band stuff and getting out in country music and that. Boy, she was my biggest fan. I can tell you, she truly, truly was.
What is something that still sticks with you today? You kind of hear in your head your mama teaching you when you're little.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Later in the 20s, you played in the rock bands, like you said. Share a little bit about that, your rock career.
Oh my goodness, I could write a book, but it wouldn't. I don't know. I may not want to put all that in print. It was an interesting life. We had a lot of fun. I played in like 3 different bands. Well, we blew the ceiling out of one place one time with a flash pot. That was pretty good. So I mean, we did have our moments. And by the way,
hearing country music and it kind of changed your perspective on you're pulling your heartstrings on some country music, didn't it?
well, it's a lot of country music nowadays, and even the style that I write is a lot of it has a lot of that classical vibe of even the old the classical style rock elements are in it. So I'm very comfortable in that. I really like that sound, that tone in the music, and that's kind of what I look at. I do like to throw some traditional stuff in there though, because I love the steel. I love the fiddle, that kind of influence into the music. Um, but I like a lot of upbeat music. I think there's just, I'm sorry, but the world has a lot of sadness, and I just like to have a lot of smiles. So,
Hmm.
you know, I think that bringing that now, yeah, there are some ballads and there are some things and times to make those poignant points in music and that, but I don't want to drone. I want to get in there, sing about it. You'll feel it, and then come back out and let's do something good. We can all dance to, or clap our hands to, or romp and stomp. Just have a good old time.
There you go.
Yeah.
But when you started out in the industry, do you recall getting advice from other musicians that kind of in your early years it kind of made you who you are?
Well, yeah, I had some guys. Some of the guys that I got involved with, even in the back in high school. I mean, my music teachers and that were very encouraging in like band and things like that. I had some theater stuff I got involved with. Mrs. Clark was the theater gal there, and I'm telling you, she was very inspirational as well. And of course, my family always supported me, and I think in general, the community. I humbly say this: the community really started supporting me a lot as my career came out, and so and I do say that humbly because I don't, you know, I don't want to sound big like Big Head Fred here, but yeah, you know, but I love my community. They've been good to me, and we've done some things there to try to improve the community over the years. But yeah, I just uh,
Have musicians come to you asking for advice, and what's that like when you were giving your advice to a younger musician?
oh yeah, yeah, I do have that happen. And my advice is, well, if you don't like bread and potatoes, because sometimes we have to we have to cut corners to get things done. You know, there's sacrifice. There's sacrifice in it, but it's sacrifice that's well worth it if you truly are passionate, and that's the key word right there. Passionate about your music and what you're doing. If you go in half-hearted or expect it to be on a silver platter coming to you, chances are you're going to be very disappointed.
I,
So,
I know some musicians have faced challenges along the way. Have you faced any challenges? If you did, how'd you overcome those?
oh, there's a lot of challenges. I mean, probably too many to even mention. There's challenges day to day. I mean, I still go through challenges now, but it's just you just have to say, look, there's going to be trouble along the way, but you have to look inside yourself and say, look, we can get around this. How can we, instead of sitting there feeling sorry for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you know, get up by your bootstraps and say, how are we going to deal with this or get around this? From a surgery to money troubles to whatever in life, we can all figure it out. Life doesn't get so heavy that it should weigh you down. It's just challenges to figure out how to get around the problem.
Do you recall the first song you sang on stage, and what was it, and when was it?
Oh boy. First song on stage. Well, if it's a first song on stage,
Probably a musical.
yeah, it was a musical.
You were a little.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I got to think which musical it is.
Sound of
Oh,
Music?
Sound of Music. I was. It was in high school. I was Friedrich, and
Okay.
there's at one point where he hits that high note. Well, I hit it, and I held it. So the poor lady playing the piano, which was my mother, by the way, she just stopped and held the chord till I was done, and then went on.
That
And,
was when they're all saying.
and I got
goodbye.
I got off that stage, and Mrs. Clark came over to me. She says, "You did a wonderful job, but you need to know something." And I said, "What's that?" She says, "Well, there are other people on the stage besides you holding a note out like that." I said, "Yes, ma'am." So, so yeah, a little humility goes a long way, right?
Oh
So,
yeah,
oh
definitely.
yeah.
Of all the songs you've written, have you ever had one that was really kind of difficult to write? Maybe the emotions or the writer's block, or just kind of you kind of push it through in getting written.
Well, when it comes to writer's block and things like that, yes, there are times I have to, because I write differently. I mean, there's times that I write the instrumental part, and then there's times I write the lyrics. Sometimes I can connect them. Sometimes I write them both. So, and there are times I get to that third line and I'm like, oh, what is going to go in here? What is going to go in? And I just have to walk away. And when I walk away for a little bit, clear my mind, I come back and I have it. So,
Mhm.
yeah, but I'd say when it comes to one of my favorite songs, it has to be a song called In a Mother's Eyes. That song was written about a hometown hero. His name was Lynn Kratzer, a private in the Marines. And Lynn went off to Vietnam and came home 9 days later in a box.
Mm.
And oh, yeah. And I remember I had Elvina, his mother, on one side crying because of the loss of her son. And then on the other side, Mrs. Pachuto was there. And she was crying because she was happy because her son had to escort the body home and therefore he wasn't in Vietnam.
Mm.
Now, I was very confused and I asked my mama, I says, why? Why? And she explained it to me. She did one of them little heart to heart moments and explained it. Well, years later, we had a homecoming, didn't have a flag to fly. And a mother, Elvina, stepped forward with this flag and it was Lynn's flag.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. So when that happened, I just started writing. And I had 5 pages. For that song, I had 5 pages. And I had a guy from K100, which is the country station in Toledo, come up to me and start talking to me. And I said, no, not now, Harvey, not now. And I mean, for me to say that, it had to be something pretty doggone important. I got done and he came back over. He goes, well, are we done now? I said, yes, sir. I said, I wrote a song and he says, can I see it? And I said, sure. I handed him the paper with 5 pages. He read through it and he goes, well, this is all very good, but you're going to have to cut this a little shorter than this, so, but yeah, I still do that. I do that song pretty much at every show. It was written, I wrote that all the way back in 1999.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, but when I did that song, I went to Elvina and I said, does this represent your son and your feelings? And with tears in her eyes, she said yes. So I knew
Wow.
that was a song to do, and probably was in my life. It's one of the most impactful songs that I've written.
That's just extremely powerful. It's gonna be chills, and especially this podcast will be out later, but today's 9/11, and this really gives me chills in general. That's very very powerful. Thank you for sharing, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Was there ever a time in your musical career where you felt it was time to take a step back a little bit? And if so, what were reasons behind that? Or you just kind of keep on trucking?
Well, here's the thing. There's always those days when you feel beat up, beat down, or whatever, because life does that to you, no matter what you do in life. But the point is, you step back, and this is what I call taking it to the mirror. It's not easy when you're self-employed, and but I just go to the mirror and look, dude. You're feeling sorry for yourself here. Now, is this really what you're and I know the answer to that before I even ask myself. Is this really what you're passionate about? Yes. Okay, then why are you even thinking? And so even after I feel after my voice is long gone, I'm still going to write. I'm going to do whatever I can to help other people. There are some young talent coming up now and people that I've seen in the independent realm of things who are so deserving, just some great talent. And I like to, if I can inspire them or if I can help them in any way, I'm all about that. I'm not one of these guys that's just, I'm out for me, because I'm not. Everybody's in this together and we can help each other. And that's what we should do. That's what we should do.
This podcast gives me the ability to interview a lot of independent musicians, and there are so many gifted artists. It's pretty incredible. I hooked up with the ISSA, the International Singer-Songwriter Association.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you won a big award down in Atlanta. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I got band single of the year for my original song, Texas and Tennessee. So, and I got to tell you, I got to share this with you too.
Yeah.
We are now officially new reps for the Lake Erie coast. So we're excited about that. We're going to have some things go on up here where we're going to be getting together and put some stuff together for the ISSA and our own chapter up here. And so we are looking forward to that.
I saw your videos on TikTok, and you look very, very James Bondish. I'd rather you say, Dean, Andrew Dean, in one of your videos, because you look very, very dapper, sir.
Well, they were giving me, some of my friends there were giving me a hassle about it, said, "Oh, look, Garth Brooks is here." I said, brother, if Garth Brooks was here and he's in this suit, he wouldn't be standing here. I can tell you that right now. I know. But yeah, oh yeah. So I mean, but I like to dress up, but really my dress up is blue jeans and a good Western shirt or coat. That's what I like. But my wife, she says, if I'm wearing a gown, you're wearing a tux. So there you go. We suffer together,
I saw later you took a male vocalist of the Academy of Western Arts home and the Who's Who in country music. What's it like when you get nominated for awards from your peers? Then you win them. What's that like?
Well, it's shocking for one thing. I mean, you're sitting there and I clap for everybody and I mean it. I'm not just sitting there putting on a happy face because, yeah, okay. No, I don't do that. No golf claps here. I'm in it. I'm in it for everybody. And when somebody gets up there and wins something, and I know they've worked so hard, I can't help but not only be happy for them, applaud them, but just, I mean, honestly, my true emotion is I'm really happy. I'm very grateful for the nomination. And yeah, I do love to win. Don't get me wrong. But if somebody wins and I don't, well, that's okay.
How many times do you paint yourself where you've come from to where you're on now, all because of your mama? I mean, that is so, so cool.
Well, I'll tell you, I would pinch myself, but I'd turn black and blue and people wonder what was going on. So, yeah, I won't pinch myself, but I will tell you that it's humbling. To me, it's humbling. It really is, because I love writing and people enjoy the music. People enjoy what we're doing. And to me, I love it. I passionately love it, but it's very humbling to me. I will not take a fan for granted. I can tell you. I just won't, because they're there supporting the music, enjoying the music. And man, oh man, they're part of the journey.
In your opinion, what's the best thing about being a musician?
Well, the best thing is I'm working for me. The worst thing is I'm working for me. I can answer it the same way both ways, because I'm hard on myself. I'll be honest with it. I've got deadlines I've set for myself on new material coming out, and when I get behind, I dog on myself. I do. If I'm not on the schedule I feel I need to be, then again I just kind of say, well, I owe 2 songs, and I have people say to me, "Who you owe it to? I thought you were an independent." Well, I am. Well, who you owe it to? I owe it to myself to get this done, because it should have been done.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm the same way. I have a full-time job. I have a part-time job. I own a toy store, and I podcast once a week. And so, yeah, I'm the same way. I want to stay on track and always have episodes in the queue and meeting people and doing. I love this stuff. I could do this all day, and I love doing podcasting and meeting people from around the world. This is really cool.
Yeah, that is awesome too, and I'm thankful for you and what you do. You give a format for people to come in and talk about their passion, share their passion, and that's, Jody, that's a gift. It really is.
Thank you. I saw you're also involved in some charities. Would you mind sharing about those a little bit? How they're passionate for you in your life?
Well, when it comes to cancer awareness and things like that, I had a sister that died of breast cancer. My mom died of pancreatic cancer. So, I mean, those are near and dear to my heart. Veterans are very near and dear to my heart, because I just want to thank each and every one of them for the gift of my freedom, because I love my freedom, and I wouldn't have it if it wasn't for veterans. And so I want to honor them whenever. I always do a little tribute to the veterans in any show we do. Uh, no, I am grateful for that.
I was reading your bio, and it says, this is a quote: "I love life's ambition, and to treat the people the way I want to be treated." How impacting is that in your life today?
Well, viewings, I'm getting more mature and not you grow in life, and that's the thing. And I do want to treat people the same way I want to be treated. I want to be the friend a friend wants to have. I that's if you call on me and there's any way I can help, then I'm going to roll up these sleeves and help. That's just the way I feel about it. I don't expect that back. I just expect to be the best friend I can be to somebody. That's what's important to me. That's important.
And your philosophy in life is love it, do it, live your life. I love that. That is so cool.
Yep, that's the truth. You get a born on date, and you get an appointment date at the end. That dash in between, that's your time to shine, baby.
And the pearls of wisdom is you wrote to be happy who you are and walk in the light of God.
Yep.
How important is having your faith, especially when you're out there sharing music, sharing your heart with people, and God's kind of put you in a position to do that and sharing his gift He's given you. What's that mean to you?
Oh, that means everything to me. I mean, if it wasn't for Jesus, I'd have no hope. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I pray daily, and I always ask for His guidance. And I can tell you that it's very important to me. There was a time in my life where I thought I could do it on my own. That didn't work out so well for me, but it was definitely one of those learning experiences, and so it's one of them where the good Lord stands you back up, brushes you off, and said, "Did you learn anything?" Oh yeah, I got you. I got you. With me, he had to stick his foot out a couple of times and trip me, I think. So, but yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
like touching the oven when we were little. Mom's like, the oven's hot. You touch it, and I told you so.
Yes, we've all been there. I had a friend of mine, Chris Herman was his name, and we were playing in his backyard one day, and we were, how kids are. We were playing Batman and Superman, and so I got up on this garage roof, and I told him I had a Pepsi in my hand, and I handed my Pepsi to him. It says, "Hold this." I said, "Now watch this," and I went jumping off of that roof. I realized it was a lot higher than I thought. So there was a wire there, and I grabbed a hold of the wire. I got electrocuted. Oh yeah, I got electrocuted and slammed to the ground, buddy. I might have thought I was Superman, but at that moment I thought I was Batman. I'm telling you. Whew. Then his mom come out of the house because it must have blown a fuse. She points at Chris. She says, "You get in the house and you go home."
You go home. Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You knew you're in trouble. Someone says you go home. A parent says you go home.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Oh yeah. Well, we've all been through that kind of stuff, but you live, you learn, and you definitely learn not to grab a hold of electrical wires. I can tell you that. Whoo!
How do you manage to maintain your musical integrity when being so successful?
Well, what I do is I write from the heart. I write from a lot of life experience, a lot of things. I'm in the middle of 2 different projects right now. I've got a country project I'm working on, as well as an inspirational project. So, I mean, the inspirational project, I've got 2 songs that, oh my gosh, man, even when we went in the studio and did them, the guys, they said, this song deserves so much more. And they put it out there for it, and they could feel it. Well, when the guys in the studio are feeling it, when you get out and you do it live, people are going to really, really feel the impact of that song. So I look forward to that coming out here in the near future.
Would you mind sharing about your website and how people can listen to more of your music?
Sure.
And follow you?
Sure. Yeah. My website is www.andrewdean.us, which is like United States. There you'll open the page and you'll see a little a little country shack with a enter on the door. You hit the door and you're in. And what you need to do is come on in and sit a spell because there's a lot to look at. There is from pictures and people I've been with to I did have the opportunity to open up for a lot of the gators and some fine folks in the gospel realm of things as well. So that's all on there. And but social media, YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, of course, Facebook, and so any of your social platforms, I'm pretty much there.
Well, thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. I love getting to know you, hearing your story, and the wife helping you out along the way. Keep me in line.
Yeah. Well, Jody, it's been great talking to you too, and I'm very, very blessed to be able to have an interview with you, and I just thank you for your time, sir. And
you're welcome back anytime. Love to share your music. I love just sharing music around the world. You can hear this podcast now on TotalMixRadio.org. It's a radio station in Virginia. They play it on Fridays, and I just love being a part of those guys. I'm also Spotify as well. So thank you so much for the opportunity. God bless you and your wife, and take care.
Thank you, Jody.
Good night.
Good night.
This is Andrew Dean and the Farm Machine, Texas and Tennessee.
She was off in Texas, he's in Tennessee. A long distance love affair, there's no way to be. So he told her he was Texas bound. He couldn't wait to hold her when he got to town. When he knocked upon her door, his life changed for sure. Their eyes met and it was said, won't be single no more. Two hearts meet and skip a beat, and love is there for sure. A love so sweet it can't be beat, this love's forevermore. So sweet it can't be beat, our love's forevermore. Yeah. Oh, I love you, baby.
Are you craving some authentic, fresh Mexican food? I am. I want to tell you about two businesses here in Silverdale, Washington. They're both locally owned and operated. They got some of the best tasting Mexican food around. The first one is Tequila Street. They're a local food truck located at 9571 Silverdale Way in Silverdale, Washington. They got some best tasting breakfast burritos you'll ever find, including the Breakfast Tex Burrito, the Breakfast California Burrito, the Breakfast Ultimate Burrito, and my favorite, the Barbecue Pork Burrito. Delicious. They also add items like tacos, burritos, and other great tasting items. Call and place your order today. Go out and pick it up at 360-914-9152. That's at Tequila Street. Also, at the Kids That Mall, Tequila. They have 5 kinds of tacos there. That's right, 5, including burritos, taquitos, taco salads, and my favorite, grilled jalapenos. Yummy. And many, many more delicious items. Also, on Taco Tuesdays, tacos are 50% off. That's right, 50% off. Where can you find that deal, right? Call and place your order today at 360-698-4335 or head over to the website at tequizatacoshop.com and get some more great tasting, authentic Mexican food at Tequila, located at the Kitsap Mall. Their number again is 360-698-4335. When I say barbecue, does your mouth just start to water? Barbecue. Well, I got the place for you to go check out, right? Double D's, Barbecue and Smokery. They got the best tasting ribs, dry rub ribs, and the meat just literally fell off the bone the last plate I had. Delicious. Also, they have pulled brisket, pulled pork, sides like bacon, macaroni, and cheese, coleslaw, beans, and cream corn with green chilies, little kick, delicious. And a dessert, banana pudding. That's right, banana pudding. Where can you find that at, right? See, Brett and Dawn, the owners of Double D's, are both strong military veterans. They have found a home here in the Pacific Northwest, and their roots range from Texas to North Carolina and everywhere in between. They bring their amazing flavors to their ribs and their food truck, which is a catering business as well. You can reach them at 360-960-9093. They're on Facebook, Instagram. That's right, Double D's, Barbecue and Smokery, delicious tasting ribs and barbecue. You got it. Check them out. Are you craving donuts? I got a place for you to check out the most delicious donuts around. Come on down and check out my friends at Lone Star Donuts. They're a locally owned and operated business here in Kitsap County, and now they open their 3rd location. They already had locations in Silverdale, Washington, Port Orchard, Washington, and now in Poulsbo, Washington, with over 50 kinds of donuts. I kid you not, 50 kinds of donuts. Many are filled, many are maple with bacon, real bacon, not that fake bacon. And now they have clutches. I had no idea what these were, but they're like a yeasty pastry with kielbasa in it, and they are so, so good. Check them out on Facebook, Lone Star Donuts. Their 3 locations are in Silverdale at 1087 Maury Place. My number is 360-204-5021. In Port Orchard at 2649 Mile Hill Drive. The number there is 360-443-2600. And now in Poulsbo at 21505 Marketplace, Suite 102. We all know you cannot buy happiness, but you can buy donuts. That's basically the same thing, right? Stop by and check out my friends at Lone Star Donuts. You can find them on Facebook as well. Lone Star Donuts, the best tasting donuts around. This is Showdown by Jennifer Malott.
Are you kidding? Wow,
like to invite you to come on down and check out Go Toys and Games at the Kitsap Mall in Silverdale, Washington. Why? We have Hot Wheels, Funkos, puzzles, Barbies, Rubik's Cube, Monopoly, Clue, you name it, we got it. It's a fun store, it really is. There's so much stuff, old school, classic games, Labyrinth, and chess and checkers. Come on down to the Kitsap Mall in Silverdale and check out Go Games and Toys. See you soon.
Thank you for joining the Chit and Chat Encouraging One Another podcast today. My guest was Mr. Andrew Dean, and we had a blast. We laughed and laughed some more, and it was really encouraging and uplifting. Tremendous story he has, and how he got into music thanks to his mom. Thank you to the musicians I had on today as well. Austin Hopkins, his song called Weatherman. We had Jennifer Malott as well, her song called Showdown. And in the background, you'll hear great music by Michael Powers, who was on the guest a few weeks ago, actually. This is called Sarah Smile, and it's a fun podcast. It really is about encouraging, uplifting, fun conversations. I'm Jody Sheffield, host of Chit and Chat. The Encouraging One Another podcast was always about encouraging others. Until next time, have a great day. Encourage someone.
This is Chit and Chat, the Encouraging One Another podcast. It's always about encouraging others.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.